So what is up, Roots community? Welcome back to the Cryptoverse channel. Today we have a very fun video. We are going to be looking at a seminar. Well, Gilbert Verdian talks about Quant. The seminar is actually from 5 years ago. So I'm doing this video just to show you guys how far Quant has come and how Gilbert has done everything that he's promised about. Before we do that, we're gonna look at how Quant is doing today. But before we actually do all of that, I have to mention, of course, that nothing in this video is financial advice. So please make sure to do your own research before investing in the market. And if you're new to the Cryptoverse channel, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you do not miss any further updates on your favorite crypto. It's actually down 2.56% in the last day, so it's now on $104.79. As we saw, guys, recently or just 3 days ago, it broke the $110 barrier and it came up to $114, but now it's back to that $100 to $110 price point. It's still up 1.85% in the last 7 days, but it's still down 4.42% in the last month. So let's get right into the seminar. We are going to look at just a part of it. So I'll leave it up to you. I'll leave a link in the description and leave it up to you to look at the whole thing. So let's see what he talks about.
So my name is Gilbert. I wanted to talk to you about Overledger. So we've created a solution that fixes a problem that we all have. And
so as you can see, they have announced Overledger like even 5 years ago.
The problem is we've had this issue before with the internet.
And now the Overledger is live. I think I've covered that in a previous video, but the Overledger platform is live and currently working. So he made what he promised. So let's see what he said back then about the Overledger platform.
Overledger, we've created a blockchain operating system that lives on blockchain, and it's not a blockchain. So if I just introduce us, so my background has been about 20 years in cybersecurity, working in banking, financial services, and government. Paolo, he heads up the Center for Blockchain Studies at UCL, so he's very prominent. A lot of people know him in the space. And Colin, he's a cybersecurity guy as well, working in AI and cybersecurity. So we came together, between the three of us, there's about 80 years of experience. So we consider us as one of the best blockchain enterprise teams that has come together in the world. So if I tell you...
So firstly, he introduces, as you can see, what the Quant team is consisted of, who are they working at. As you can see, that they're more than 80 years of combined experience. So this team is very trusted for
a story. So my introduction to blockchain and Bitcoin was in 2009. Did anyone buy any Bitcoin in 2009? Because I didn't. No. So it was 0.0005 cents. So I was working at the Treasury, the UK's Treasury, which handles the economic aspects of the economy, as the CTO. So I spoke at a conference like this, which was just government, and I said, we need to look at Bitcoin. Has anyone heard about it here? No one knew anything. 2009. So then I got the policy guys in my department to do a paper on it, and the assessment came out that Bitcoin will never have any material impact to the UK's economy. And
as you can see, he talks about Bitcoin and how it started. He said that he didn't even have Bitcoin when it was like on its lowest price, like 0.0005 cents. And then he told his company to do a research on Bitcoin, and they said that Bitcoin is not even going to have an impact on the England's economy. But as you can see, in today's world, Bitcoin has a huge impact on today's economy. So things change pretty fast, and I think that we should be very positive about how crypto is doing, especially Quant, and let's see why.
We're going to leave it like that. And that was 2009. So fast forward to 2014, I was working in healthcare in the Department of Health. I had an issue where health records were all over the place, and I couldn't connect them together. So what I thought of was, you know what, blockchain can solve this. It's a good use case to solve it. So I ended up solving it for healthcare, for the department. But at the same time, the ISO people said, can we turn this into a standard? This is a really good idea. So I ended up founding TC307, which is the ISO standard for blockchain. So now we have 46 countries working together to solve blockchain, and that includes.
As you can see, blockchain started really, let's say modest and really practically. He just used it to solve like medical and to sort medical records and stuff. And now, as he said, 46 countries work together on blockchain.
Privacy, security, reference architecture, terminology, interoperability, governance, use cases, smart contracts. So 46 countries are all working together to solve blockchains, and the next meeting is in London in a couple of weeks in May. So I wanted to talk to you about networks, and if you look at this diagram, this was done in 1964. So an organization called RAND, they said, this is what networks look like, this is how they actually work. So telecom networks are what we used to have. A central body, you connect into.
As you can see on the screen, he now Quant comes into the talk. Let's see what he has to say. He talks about networks and talks about how networks are evolving.
When you make phone calls. Then we had decentralization when the internet happened, and that was around 89, early 90s, and that's when the internet created a connection of other networks, and we have the internet. And then 2003-ish, we had peer-to-peer, BitTorrent, Napster. We connected to each other to do transfers, and that created the Starfish network. And then something happened. So 2008, the Satoshi paper came out. It was late 2008, 2009, and that changed quite a lot of things. And one of the biggest changes is it created the mechanism of distributed ledgers. And distributed ledgers are where the internet is going. We're all on that journey. In 2018, we are on the journey to create a new internet, and it's the internet of trust. And it's happening already.
Internet of trust, or as it is heading, Internet 4.0. As you can see, Satoshi is, but as he said, 2008, Satoshi is changing the way we look at the network.
So what is the internet of trust? And if you think about it, the original internet was a closed network. It was few nodes, universities, governments, military, connecting to each other. If something funny happens, you can actually ring up the person on the other node and says, what are you doing? Because your computer is doing something really weird, or your network is doing something really weird. But then the internet grew, more people started using it, and we didn't know the people using it. It grew to a mass scale, and then the internet became untrusted. So we can't trust anyone on the internet because we just don't know them. So to do that, we've actually created a cybersecurity industry, which is where I come from. We've protected each other from each other because we've built firewalls, we've put defenses in, we've had data leakage prevention, we have antivirus, we have everything. And that's to protect us from us. And if you think about what society is, we're actually a very untrusting species. We grew up in our tribe, we knew the people around us. If someone new came, we didn't trust them. Who is that person? Why are they walking this way? So society doesn't allow us to trust each other because that's the nature of humans. So to trust each other, we've had to build governments, institutions, banks, services, systems in order to do that trust and to gain that trust and to understand I can trust that other person. And that's what blockchain does. If you break down everything,
he now basically compares how we trust like big governments and financial institutions and how blockchain does the same thing.
Forget all the crypto, forget all the technology. If you break down what blockchain does, it allows person A to trust person B because the protocol told him it's okay. And that's really fundamental because society can change. We can trust each other again without having to know each other. And that's what the real core essence of blockchain is. So with this technology, for the first time, we can actually honor the original vision of the internet to be a trusted network for machines and people to trust each other. So we can trust the network without the need to know and trust each other. Quite powerful. But we have a problem. Blockchains are flawed. We have a problem because blockchains are closed proprietary networks. And if you look at what's happening, Ethereum is being built in isolation. Hyperledger is being built in isolation. Ripple, they're all closed proprietary networks. So whatever you do, you're only on that one blockchain. It's very
Yes, he talks about the problem now of blockchain, because there's many blockchain networks. He said Ethereum, Ripple, and they're working on their own, but rather than that, they should be working together,
difficult to
like the internet, for example.
do something on Ethereum and be recognized on Ripple, and vice versa. So there's a problem because users can't connect and interact with other people on other networks. You're restricted to that network and its technology. So if you're on Ethereum, you're restricted to the technology constructs and the limits of Ethereum. You can't do anything differently, and you can't really benefit from the technology of other blockchains. And finally, you're actually locked in to fees. If the price of mining goes up, you can't change it because you're stuck in the network. And this was the same problem that the internet had. If you're over 30 and if you're over 40, this was the internet. If you remember, you connected with your modem, with the sounds, to your provider. It was CompuServe, Prodigy, America Online.
Just as I said, it's comparing it to the internet, and that's why I believe in this project. That's why I believe in this guy, actually, Gilbert, because he talks with sense. He talks very logically. His vision has a lot of sense. The project looks very promising in the future. So that's where I'm going to stop here, because I want you to look at the whole video and see where it's headed. This is actually before the not a big announcement, but the big uncovering of what he is trying to say. But I'm gonna leave that for you to see. And it was nice to be with you guys today again. We've reached the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. Again, I have to mention that nothing in this video was financial advice. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to invest in the market, of course, make sure to do your own research. And if you're new to the Cryptoverse channel, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to not miss any further updates on your favorite crypto. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next one.